Hey, what's up, everyone? Jalen here from TeamBurningInfinitey, bringing you guys another deck profile. I swear, guys, when we can finally get some content going around, probably starting next week, like really regular content with more TBI members, more than just deck profiles. We're gonna get some match videos in because we haven't done those in so fucking long. I'm not even kidding. I'm so sorry. Like we just no fucking time, or at least when we do, we're always just doing fucking tournaments because we have to fucking get tournaments in New York because we have to get people off their lazy ass so they can actually play buddy fight, and then we just keep forgetting to fucking just record any videos for you guys, and I'm so sorry. And also the tripod for me, it's like fucking broken. Devlon's is fucking broken because we got the same one. It's shitty as hell, and Jake's just never around, and he has a better tripod than us. Like, we should have just fucking bought the same one Jake got, but he got it after us, so we didn't know that there was a better one out that was from the same company, but yet they made such a shitty. Anyway, off track. I need to get onto my pillar deck profile. Now, this is post 4 dimensions. Yes, there's only one card change once you see the entire list, but it's vastly different from the last pillar list I did, which was like, oh my god, like even before Roar Invincible Dragon. Magic World didn't get shit since Buddy Ray, but I'm just saying, like, my god, I have not posted a deck profile of this deck since then, and the meta changes, and I've been changing the deck, like, ever since, and, like, anyway, I'm gonna get onto the deck profile. So, you already saw the Flags Magic World, Buddy is, oh, Jesus, Flag and Buddy, Magic World, and the Buddy is Fervent Demon Lord Teacher is Modai, 5/2/1. Pay 2 gauge, return a 72 power monster to your hand, and when you enter the field, you can destroy a monster, and if you have 3 more other 72 pillars on the field, you destroy a card. Absolutely amazing, probably the best pillar right now. Getting him off Devil Fever is absolutely stupid and ruining your opponent's plays. It's nice to crit. It's just really the best as Modai, in my opinion. Onto the only size 0. I was playing Amadukes before, but I just really just decided to go with my only size 0 being 2 copies of Void Transmission as Modai. You probably definitely want to side more. I choose to go with 2 because this card has its ups and downs. It's discarding a card, which isn't bad per se, and it returns any cards to the field. It can work for me. It can work well for me if I need to bounce something and gain a life with Neverland, or just do certain plays like bounce it, like call a beer. Sometimes when I'll discard a card that's like dead in my hand, like a second Goetia if I already have one equipped. Call like return a beer to my hand, call a beer, then like never say and I have no cards in hand or something like that. Anyway, 3/1/1 size 0 with the ability to enter the field. You may discard a card. If you do, you're going to return any card on the field to its owner's hand. This is absolutely amazing for dealing with like high cost items that don't have any protection. Like, say something like, I don't know, try to think of like a Hero World card, like maybe Makuro or like Sneak Judgment or something along the lines of I don't know, like Wild Ways for. They're not highly costed. I'm trying to think of like most items nowadays that are usually highly costed. Most people have protection for it. Maybe something like Ball Guard because it gets around Ball Guard because it can not be destroyed by card effects, but you can still return it to the hand. So this is still a really great card. It helps deal with Ozzy matchup, like so you can like bounce Ozzy instead of having to destroy him and give them the stupid sword. On to the size 1s, the Plentiful Mountains pillars. We have 1 copy of Demon Realm Architect Gamajin. Gamajin is a 5/1/1 size 1 with the ability to search your set spell for the cost of 1 gauge for his call cost. He's really nice. He's just there to get me to my set spells, but I only play 3, so I really don't feel the need to run more of him. Most people run 3 and then run like the same amount of set spells I do, and I'm like, why? Like, I just don't feel the need because I'm like, if literally I have a set spell, this thing's useless and it costs 1 gauge to call. I hate that. I want to mitigate as many dead draws as I could possibly have in this deck. Then we have 2 copies of Street Racer Eligos. It's a 1/2/1 size 1. Basically, during an attack on my opponent's turn, I can pay a life and call from my hand, and the attack is not reduced to it, is redirected to it, and I can pay a life when it's destroyed to return it to my hand. It does not trigger Neverland because it does go to the drop zone. Destruction sends the cards to the drop zone, so it will not proc off Neverland in case people forget about that. Anyway, it's nice 2 crit. It's just I can throw it in the center if my opponent's not been like attacking my face for a while. going for my monsters, which they really shouldn't be doing against pillars. Uh, Then we have 2 copies of Squire Gap. I think this is an absolutely amazing card that people should be really playing in pillars. It really helps a lot. Basically, it's a size 1. It can become a size 0 if you have a size 3 pillar on your I don't even think it's a size 3 pillar, just a size 3. Yeah, if you have a size 3 monster, it reduces its size by 1. So it can become a size 0 if I have, say, a Death Mode on my field. Anyway, it has the act of paying 2 life, and I can add a 72 pillar card from my drop zone to my hand. It's any pillar, so I can get back Devil Fever. I can get back. My set spells like just for 2 life, and then I can easily get that back if I good to go and have Neverland on the field. So this thing is absolutely free. 3-1-2, really decent stats. Not the best, but not horrible at the same time. But in terms of horrible stats, we got Demon Doctor Bure, 2 copies. It has the ability of when it enters the field, put top card of your deck into the gauge, and it dies at the end of your opponent's turn. It's 1/1/3. It's okay. It's just there for the gauge. It's really great with your my buddy Teach Modai because you can call a beer, return it to hand, call the Teach Modai, and then call this, and then you got 2 monsters for the price of 1, which is absolutely amazing. Then we have the last non-Asmodai in the deck. We have 3 copies of Deceiving Shacks. Deceiving Shacks is a 4/1/1 size 1 pillar with the ability when he enters the field and you have 2 other 72 pillars on the field, you draw a card. If you do not have the pillars required to get the draw off his effect and you call him before, you have used the ability per turn because it is a named ability and it will activate even if you do not have the condition quite yet for it. Anyway, it's still a really nice card. I usually always have the conditions. It's like there's like a 1 in like 500 chance I don't get the ability off. Or in general, like when it does happen, it's usually because I call more than 1 Shacks per turn or something when I'm pushing for damage or something. For the buddy, not gonna get into that. I mean, just nice for buddy rare, and then the triple R is my buddy. People go, that's so weird and backwards. I'm like, I don't care. For Art of Body Duplication is Modai. Probably still the best is Modai, but I still think Teach Modai has some merits over it. I mean, this is still probably the most versatile and most powerful one, but I still think Teach Modai is the best one. This is a 2/2/1 size 1 with the ability of counteract. During your turn, you can send it to your drop zone and call in as Modai from your drop zone by paying its call cost. You can only use Art of Body Duplication once per turn. So if someone, say, like, uses counter mover on it and you have another one, you can't do it because you already did the name ability once per turn. Either way, this is basically a size 1 that has double attack for free if you have 1 in the drop. Like, one Teach Body Dupe is Modai in the drop zone, 1 on field, you attack for 2, send 1 to the drop zone, get the other one, and then go for 2. It's basically free double attack on a size 1, and then even not counting itself, like it just gets back any of your Modais. That could be Dance, Boy Transformation, Deaf as Modai, just really, really nice. Speaking of Dance's Modai, we have 3 copies of him, 6/2/1 size 2, with the pay 1 gauge call cost, and when it enters the field, you draw a card. Absolutely great, just really helps with the consistency of the deck. It has 2 crit, and it's the only size 2 I run. And same with the only size 3 I run. We have 2 copies of Inverse Second Omni Demon Lord, Deaf as Modai, 50,000 power, 3 critical, 10,000 defense, 3 crit penetrate, with lifelink 2, and when it dies, send the top 3 cards of your deck into the drop zone, and then you call monsters among them without paying the call cost. If you do happen to call monsters that are of, like, over the size gap, like, say, Dance Modai and 2 size 1s, you can still call all 3 of them and get the answer abilities, but then the size gap happens, and then you just choose what you want to keep on the field. So it's absolutely amazing. I see people drop this a lot, and I understand it. Lifelink, you don't want to take Lifelink. It's also not very helpful because you can't magical buy or good to go like all the other monsters in your deck. So like and like you don't want to like throw something in the center unless you can like protect yourself, like you can in pillars. But I mean, I don't see a problem with this. I really like this card. Anyway, onto the spells, we have 1 copy of Barking Solomon. Basically, it's just really nice in the main board. It's a 72 pillar, pay 1 gauge to equip, to set, and it's a set spell, of course. During your opponent's start phase, anytime except during your opponent's start phase, if their cards in hand increase, they have to discard a card. The ability only activates once per turn. You can only set 1 Barking Solomon. This card is absolutely amazing because you can manipulate your opponent's hand even if they aren't a deck that really gets any card advantage. I mean, every deck gets card advantage, but I'm just saying, like, if they don't do it often, you could still do it to them out of nowhere with Good to Go, Magical Goodbye, Boy Transformation. If you slide it in or main in, Magical Glue. There's a lot of ways to like manipulate your opponent's like hand with Bar King and returning the hand cards in Magic World. Then the only other set spell, you have 2 copies of Emergency War Neverland. When a card on the field is returned to its owner's hand, you gain the player you gain a life, and you can only accept one of these per turn. Its ability only activates once per turn, but it is for each turn. So I can say Good to Go during my opponent's turn, gain a life, and then if I Buddy Call, then I'll gain a life from Buddy Gift, and I can gain a life from Neverland. There's just a lot of ways this is a really useful card. 72 power attributes, so it helps with, of course, the setups. Then we have 2 copies of Never Say Never. Top 3 cards of your deck into the gauge, and if you cast it when you have no cards in hand, then you get the top 2 cards. You get to draw 2 cards after, and you can only cast 1 Never Say per turn. It's a really nice card. If you just start this, just getting low on cards, it's really great. It's just good for Gauge Excel at most times, so it's really just a nice card. And then the only real new addition, like new card that's in here, is 2 copies of Shadow Crusader. I'm saying it right. Yeah, Shadow Crusader. You may only cast it when you're about to be dealt damage. And then, well, not really. I was just saying that, but you just put the top 3 cards of your deck into the drop zone, and then you reduce the next damage you would take by 3. It's basically Quistian's a cast yard, but it has a somewhat cost. But for pillars, it's kind of helpful because you can get more pillars in the drop for Delta Fever. And the nice thing about it is free compared to Chillax. I still think maybe if you don't care for the gauge cost, Chillax is better, but this card can be quite useful for still defending you and at the same time helping you set up your drop zone. Then we have 3 copies of Mind of Hardcore. If you have 2 or more pillar monsters on the field, you send the top 3 cards of your deck into the gauge, and you can only cast it once per turn. Just really great Gauge Excel that pillars need because it's a gauge heavy deck. And then Pillar's main card, Saturn Devil Fever, counter, pay 2 gauge and a life. You only cast if you have 6 or more pillars in the drop, not different. And you call 3, you counter call 3 size 1s pillars for your drop zone without paying your call cost, and shuffle the rest of the cards back in your deck. If you do have cards on the field like that are going to go in a drop, like monsters, of course, that and Devil Fever should be the only things left in your drop after the cards resolve, because once the way the whole size gap thing works is basically the cards, when they're being called over on field, won't hit the drop zone yet because Devil Fever is still resolving, so the rest of the cards in the drop zone will go back, and then the cards that were on the monsters that were on your field will go to the drop with Devil Fever. So say I call Body Dupe and I had one on my field, then when I call over the new Body Dupe with Devil Fever, then the one that was on my field will go to the drop, and then I can say use this one, the new one called off Devil Fever, attack, and then get the old one, which is a really, really nice play that I really love. I don't usually only do that with Body Dupe. Anyway, the rest of the spells, we have 4 nice one, pay a gauge, draw 2, you can only cast it once per turn, a staple in Magic World, always. Then we have 4 copies of Magical Goodbye, counter, return a size 2 or less on to the owner's hand, whoever you choose to use it on. Defensively, offensively, this card's great. And then Good to Go, basically Magical Goodbye, but only works on size 1 or less, and you gain a life. And then the last 2 cards are 2 copies of Sorcerer Book Goetia. Goetia is a 3/1 weapon, pay 1 gauge to equip. It's a 72 power attribute, and you can attack with it even if you have a monster in your center, and if you have 3 other 72 power cards on your field, then it gains a critical and 2,000 power, so it becomes a 5/2 instead of a 3/1. So it's a really, really nice card. Great after Devil Fever play. Like, really smart things to do with Goetia are, if you say don't have enough, like say you have a Dancer's Modi and a size 1 and no size 0 and no set spell. Those are usually like not gonna happen, but just saying, if it does happen, if you have Goetia and you really want to get it to 2 crit, you can go 2 with Dancer's Modi, 1 or 2 depending on the size 1, doesn't matter, and then Devil Fever after, get 3 size 1s, and then now Goetia's 2 crits, so now you can go for 2 crit with Goetia and then go in with your size 1s. So there's a lot of neat things you can do with this card. Anyway, hope you guys like this video. This kind of TeamBurningInfinitey for more Buddyfight content. We will be getting up way more content in the near future. So see you guys later. Jen from TeamBurningInfinitey going out.